Hello, Facebook. My name is Evie Burke. I am at One Insight Closer, and I help entrepreneurs be more productive. So today's topic is all about preparing for life's unexpected twists. And if you see me looking down or around, I'm looking at my notes here. So, like I said, today's topic is all about preparing for life's unexpected twists. You know, what happens when you hit that bump in the road? Does it throw you off? You know, did you get a flat tire and you're completely, veered off the road? Or is it just a bump and that's it and you just adjust and move on? How does the unaffected affect you? Or unaffected, how does the unexpected affect you? And in my post this week, in my blog post on Monday, I shared a little bit about 3 things that happened this week. I had, at the end of last week, we learned that my sister-in-law and her husband were going to be in town, and that kind of threw off my Sunday because normally that's the day when I plan, and my normal schedule was going to be interrupted. On Saturday, I took my car in for an oil change because it was overdue and we were going to drive to Indiana, so it needed to happen. And it turned out that I had a slow oil leak, and that was surprising and not necessarily fun. And it was going to take a little while for them to get everything apart to fix it and put it back together again. And they weren't sure that they'd be able to finish it up this week, so that was a little frustrating. And then the third thing was on Monday afternoon, early Monday afternoon, my husband came home and popped in my office and said, "Hey, would you be able to help me for about a half hour with a work project I need to finish?" And I thought about it for a minute and I said, sure. But again, unexpected things thrown in there. So I shared in the blog post how I would have reacted, maybe a couple of years ago or so. And those things would have kind of thrown me off. And if I would have said yes to them, I would have been frustrated because, well, now my plan for the week is shot and so frustrating and ugh. But the way I react to them now is a little bit different, both because I have systems in place that allow the unexpected not to derail me, and I have a different mindset around them. And so those are the 2 things that I'm going to talk about today, is the kind of the nut and bolts, how do you want to plan these things, and then the mindset. And as we go along, what I would love to know is what questions do you have around this? Like, what are the things that you want to know? And then the other part is, what trips you up when the unexpected happens? Where do you see yourself kind of maybe not doing as well as you would want to do? So if you want to share that, and we can talk about that a little bit too. So for the first thing, for planning for unexpected twists, planning for those unexpected opportunities that come up, things like seeing your sister-in-law or helping your husband out, or a new client that you weren't expecting that, now you have, maybe more work to do to get them set up, and that's exciting, right? Or the things that maybe aren't as great, like your car needs an unexpected repair, or you end up with a flat tire on the side of the road, on the way to a meeting, right? So how do those things affect you? So the first thing to think about is the pre-planning. So what have you done before that maybe allows those unexpected things to flow a little bit smoother and not be so jarring? So one of the things you can do is plan your goals out monthly. Know what are the goals that I have this month, and what are the things I'm going to do to reach those. So that's kind of tip 2, is what are the things you need to do weekly? So at the beginning of the month, sit down, maybe take a half hour to an hour, and just look at what is the goal for this month and what needs to happen weekly so that I can reach that goal. And tip 3 is know how much time you need to spend each week on those goals, or how much time you have to spend each week on those goals. And if you're not sure, underestimate it just a little bit, because a lot of times we'll overestimate the amount of things that we can get done in a week, and we'll underestimate the amount of things we can get done in a year or two, right? And that's a quote from someone that I don't remember, but it's all about, we underestimate what we can do over the course of a year or 5 years, but we underestimate over the course of a year or more, but we overestimate what we can do over the course of a week or a day. We think in a week we can get all these things done, and then we're frustrated. So know about how much time you have to spend each week to move those goals forward. And if you need some help with that, I can certainly help you with that. Just let me know. And then leave some space for the unexpected. So, don't plan every minute of your day out, because tasks are going to take a little bit longer. You're going to get a phone call that you didn't expect, but you really want to take. Leave some time in there so that at the end of the week, you're not running around going, oh my goodness, I had these things that I wanted to get done, and 3/4 of my list didn't get done. It might not be that you are bad at planning. It just might mean, or you're bad at managing your time, or you're slacking off. It just might mean that you've overestimated what you can get done this week. So those are some of the more practical, that's not quite the word I want to use, but those are the ways that you can plan your week out and your month out, so that when unexpected things happen, you are still in control. You still know what needs to happen. Because I've been doing these things, when I needed to adjust things and I didn't get my planning in on Saturday or Sunday, then I was able to know, okay, well, these are the things that I know have to happen on Monday, because I've done the work to know what needs to happen each week and have a rough idea of what needs to happen on Monday. I was able to get those things done and plan a little bit later. So the second thing here for preparing is, so you have your the planning that you want to do, the pre-planning, but then there's also the mindset things. How are you, what's your relationship with your business and with your goals and with your tasks? And when you think about those things, is it oh, this is so exciting, these are the things I get to do? Or is it I have another thing to do and I'm already so overwhelmed and I just wish people would leave me alone for a little while? Have you felt that way? I know I felt like that, particularly in my previous job where I was getting a lot of phone calls. So the first thing you want to do here is just acknowledge where you are. That's all. Just acknowledge that you're frustrated. Acknowledge that you're excited. Wherever you are, acknowledge it. Just note it. And maybe look at what's causing that. Why are you frustrated? And you don't need to wallow. If you feel like you want to wallow a little bit, set the timer and give yourself some wallow time. But don't stay there, move out of that. But it's also important to recognize and feel the things that are happening for us. I was watching a YouTube video from somebody I watch quite regularly, and she was talking about how what's the word I'm looking for? How sometimes she feels like a lot of the advice out there is about being happy all the time. And she was noticing how that just does not work for her. That it's so important for her to feel the feelings that she's feeling, good or bad, because that's what's going on for her. And there's been research that's shown that if you're stuffing the bad feelings, you're not going to feel, and I say bad, no feelings are bad. They're just what are happening for us today. And that good-bad association is just that, it's an association. It's not something that's actually etched in stone. So if you're feeling angry, that's not bad. Just notice that you're feeling angry about something and recognize what's going on. If you're feeling fearful about something, that's okay. Just notice you're feeling fearful about it. And again, look at where is it coming from. So anyway, acknowledge where you are. And then that brings us into 7 different ways you might be thinking about your business or your goals or your to-do lists. And I'm going to read through these. So I'm going to be looking down. I'm going to read through these and just notice, where are you right now? And again, it's not good, it's not bad, it's just where you are. So notice where you are right now and think about, where is it that you want to be? And again, there's no judgment here. Just notice how each one comes across for you and which ones you really resonate with, and maybe which one or which ones you would like to resonate with a little bit more. So here they are. So 1, I try to avoid making decisions for fear of making the wrong choices. 2, decisions are necessary evils of the job, and I fight my way through them. 3, decisions need to be made. I find ways to make them so I can get them resolved and off my plate. 4, decisions are an important part of my responsibility as a leader to ensure others can be successful. 5, decisions bring with them opportunities to grow and develop as individuals as well as a business. 6, how I make decisions speaks volumes about my experience as a leader and reflects who I am in the process. Making quick and accurate decisions is effortless. So just notice, where are you in that list? And where do you want to be? If you're watching the recording, you can go back and hear them again. I'm going to move forward from there. But just think about, as you think about the difference between where you are and where you want to be, what would change in your business or in your life if you were at that place where you wanted to be? How would your outlook about your business and your goals and your to-dos, how would those change? And how would that change your results? Right? So going back to my story about the 3 unexpected things that happened, I could have been really frustrated and angry that, somebody wants my time and they didn't plan it out far enough in advance for me to plan around it. But instead, I was able to be excited that I was going to see my sister-in-law, and I haven't seen her for a while. And I adore her and her husband. I think they're fabulous. So getting to see them is great. About the repair to the car, I could have been really upset about that and been like, it's just one more thing on top of everything else that's going on. Or I could have been, all right, great, let's get it fixed. Right? All right. And because I knew the outcome that I wanted, because I was like, all right, let's get it fixed, and I want to go to Indiana in my car tomorrow, I was able to say, hey, how long do you think this is going to be? And she told me that it might not be until Monday. And I said, we're going to Indiana tomorrow. And we were able to work it out. I mean, they had a loaner car that they would be willing to give me. And the mileage out to Indiana and back probably would have been within that contract. But they were able to work with me just because I was able to calmly say, hey, this is what's going on for me, and can you work with me on this? And they did. It was great. So one thing that I want to know from you, if you want to share, is, how do you handle things that are unexpected? Do you freak out about them? Do you roll with the punches? What does that look like? And none of them are good or bad. It's just how you're reacting right now, and maybe you want to change that up a little bit. So what I would, if you want to share that in my Facebook group, I would love that. And that is over at Productivity for Women Entrepreneurs. That's the Facebook group. And I would love it if you could share maybe one thing that you could do that would help you better be able to handle life's unexpected twists and turns. So whether that's I could plan things out better, what that might look like, or if it's a mindset shift, let me know. I'd love to know. Let me know either in the comments here or over in the Facebook group. And oh, Ellen says she'll volunteer one now. She could breathe before she reacts. Yes, absolutely. That's a great one. Is just taking that moment to breathe so that you're not just jumping into that situation. You're taking a step back first. That's a very, very good suggestion. Great. Any questions that anybody has, I'm happy to answer them, or any other thoughts. Otherwise, I'll be watching the comments below as time goes on, and responding to any comments below, and definitely looking forward to the conversation over in the Facebook group, and anything you want to share over there. I'll be over there too. So thank you for being here live. Thank you for watching the video. Again, my name is Evie Burke here at One Insight Closer, and I will return next week. This is going to be, or this is now a weekly occurrence that happens every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Central Time. And the Facebook group's name, Ellen, is Productivity for Women Entrepreneurs. And you should be able to search it and find it. Once I close the video, I'll post it in the comments too. It's a little hard for me to post that here now. So I'll do that in a minute. You're very welcome. So I will see you all next week with a new topic. I think next week's topic is going to be around brain dumps and organizing them into the various lists so that you can stay on top of your to-do list. So it's going to be a kind of a to-do type of video. So think about your questions around to-do lists, and that's what I'm going to cover next week. So until then, I'll see you later. Bye.